family.
Live right now on the YouTube, chopping up a lot of good game, a lot of good flavor, a lot of events that's going on right now. You don't want to miss the discussion. So go ahead and swipe up right now and tune in. Swipe up right now. Peace, family. It's your brother Chase. We live right now on the YouTube, chopping up a lot.
Peace, family. Peace. Peace, family. Hold on 1 second. Let me send out this alert real quick, and then I'm gonna come right and chop up game with the family. Hold on 1 second. 1 second, family. Boom, boom. 1 second, family. Peace to all the family in the building. 1 second. Okay. Okay, family. Make sure to go through real quick. Okay, family. We back. But peace, family. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's doing good. We back with another live. Chop up some quick game with the family tonight. A lot of things to talk about. A lot of things that are going on right now in the political circle and just current events in general that we need to discuss. So I hope everybody's doing well. But before we get into the live, as always, family, I always want to encourage the family to have multiple streams of income. I want to encourage the family to get your economic game popping. When we look at the climate in today's time, whether it's our brother Jacob Blake, whether it's our brother George Floyd, or even our fallen soldiers of the past, we have to start countering systematic white supremacy with an economic power structure. You dig? We have to start countering white supremacy with an economic power struggle, and that's very important. Very important, family. So we have to get our bag together, because when we get our bag together, we can control a lot of these race soldiers out here. Remember, the only two things that white supremacy fears is the loss of life and the loss of finance. The loss of life and the loss of finance. If you're not threatening one of those two things, if you're not coming with a military approach or an economic approach, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. Your vote is only as powerful as your economic structure. You did. So always want to encourage the family to have multiple streams of income and just to diversify your portfolio. I've been seeing one of our brothers in the community, Bootsy. Bootsy is a popular rapper. He's been begging and kind of pleading, and I don't really even like how it looks. He's been begging and pleading Mark Zuckerberg, who owns Instagram and Facebook, to let him have his account back. They banned his account for some reason, something like that. But he's been begging for them to get his account back. And that's type of things I don't like to see. I don't like to see black men out white folks for their stuff back. But obviously, he was depending on that Instagram page for a lot of income. And this is why you have to diversify. You have to have multiple pages. You have to have multiple streams. You have to be on different platforms. You got to be on the YouTube. You got to be on the Instagram. You got to be on the Facebook, TikTok, whatever it might be. Diversify your portfolio. That's very important, family. Very important. So economic gain, like I say, make sure you're investing in stocks. Stock market is doing very well right now. It's at an all-time high. If you just look at the time from when Trump presidency came in, I think the stock market was roughly at 18,000 when Trump came in. According to the Dow Jones index, it's 78,000 now. So we're talking about a nice return on your money right now in a 4-year span. That's things we need to be participating in. I encourage you to download apps like Robinhood, Stash, Stockpile. These are free apps that you can use to invest. It also is very beneficial because it allows you to invest with as little as $5. And that's very important. So money shouldn't be the excuse. If you got an extra $5, $10 laying around that you were going to go spend at McDonald's eating something you shouldn't be eating anyway, go ahead and invest and throw that into the stock market. You dig? Every investment is one step off the plantation. You dig? Multiple streams of income, very important. Don't be too dependent on one stream, because we don't want to see no more brothers and sisters out here begging. We don't want to see any more brothers and sisters out here begging, family. Also, get your military game up. Get your military game up, family. That's very important. Very important to get your military game up. We've been seeing, with our brother Deon K, the race soldiers just killed a brother. I think he was out in the DC area, 18-year-old. I talked about that last week a little bit. Jacob Blake is somebody every week that these race soldiers are killing and harming, and not just police officers. We're talking about everyday race soldiers. You dig? So we got to get our military game up. We got to move militant. We got to be ready every time we walk out the house to defend for our lives. You see what I'm saying? Because these race soldiers are attacking us left and right. So that's very important to understand. This is a prime example of what I mean. Let me show y'all a video real quick, family. Show a video real quick. Okay. Can you see my screen, family? Okay. Let me show you this real quick. This is very important. It's been some white supremacists. They've been hyping up the attack. The rhetoric is getting towards election time. So they've been out here just attacking black folks left and right. And some of these brothers been moving with the energy of Ogun, and that's good. Here's one classic example. Let me play it one more time, family. The audio was a little off. Yes, Lord. Let me play it one more time. Hey! Decide to run up on a brother. Boom. That's that. Yes, Lord. That's that. You got to move with the energy of Ogun out here. Here's another white supremacist. He decided to run up on a brother in a store. This is one of those old school white supremacists, probably his 70s or 80s. So he was probably harassing some of our ancestors during the civil rights movement. You dig? He decided he was going to just, press up on a brother. And, this is what he got.
What you gonna do in here with everybody, man? What you gonna do? Get your ass up there and get the fuck.
Yes, Lord. Come through, Ogun. Let's see it one more time, family, because this is the type we need to see.
What you gonna do in here with everybody here, man? What you gonna do? Get your ass up there and get the fuck.
Yes, indeed. And like I say, that's the type of energy we need to see, family. That's the type of energy we need to see. Yeah. Put them paws on that white supremacist at the end of the day. We got to start doing that. And notice that these type of things, they don't show on the news. They'll show black folks getting choked out. They'll show black folks getting lynched all day. They'll show race soldiers killing us on camera. They'll show us getting beat up. They love showing Selma. They love portraying that on Hollywood, but they don't portray these videos and these stories because these videos have went viral. They don't put that on the internet. And if they do, not the internet, they don't put that on the news. And when they do put it on the news, then it's coming from the whole propaganda campaign, which we're going to talk about tonight. It's coming from the whole black people are thugs and criminals. You dig? Yeah. So a couple of brothers had to put hands on these white supremacists out here. That's why I say we got to start moving with a militant mindset. We got to start moving with a militant mindset. Those brothers did the right thing. They were in fear of their life. Remember, if cops are able to tell people, because every time one of these race soldier cops, they kill a black person, they love to say they were in fear of their life. That's their favorite thing to say. I was in fear of my life. I was in fear of my life. I was in fear of my life. Well, we're in fear of our lives too. When one of these soldiers press up on you, they start attacking you. It is within your rights to knock them out. You dig? And to do whatever's necessary to get them up off of you. You don't have to turn the other cheek. You don't have to walk away. You don't have to pull out a camera. You have a right to defend yourself. It don't matter who the white supremacist is. Because in that last video, that was an elder white supremacist. He was giving that old 1920s slave talk. What you gonna do, boy? He has a right to defend himself by any means. It ain't no, oh, he's an elder. Oh, that white supremacist could have had a gun on him or anything. You see what I'm saying, family? And that's how we got to start moving. That's how we got to start operating. That goes for my queens too. That goes for my queens too. Let me show you this video real quick. Because a lot of times when we talk about okay, can y'all see me now, family? Okay. Okay, a little freezing. Okay, but anyways, like I was saying before, whenever we talk about being militant, family, most times people think we're talking about strictly men, but we're also talking about the women too. We're talking about the women too, because under a system of white supremacy, white supremacists go for easy targets. That's why I always tell my queens, white supremacists go for easy targets. My sisters got to be on the lookout too. Let me show you this video real quick. Let me show you this video real quick, family. This is a queen out there in Charleston, South Carolina. She's at one of these Asian stores. You dig? Well, before I show you this one real quick. You got a sister out here. She's being attacked by one of these white supremacists.
Okay. Hey, let me just go ahead and leave. Can I leave? Because I got things to do. Stupid. Get away from me. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Hey, man, can I just leave? I got things to do. Hey, you gonna do it?
Okay, that's enough of that. But that's a classic example, family. This is why I always tell, let me go back to myself. This is why I always tell the family, man, even our queens, you got to be ready at all times. You got to be moving militant at all times, family. At all times, even our queens. You see what I'm saying? Our queen, she should have had a gun on her. She should have had, if she didn't like carrying guns, queens, if you can't carry a gun, she should have had pepper spray. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed. He should have got a full dose of Ogun juice, a pepper spray straight in his face. You dig? Because one thing about these white supremacists, and he looks like an honorary white supremacist. I believe he sounds like he was Arab or something like that. He didn't sound like he was the traditional Anglo-Saxon white person. You dig? He sounds like he was Arab, one of these so-called people we're supposed to be in a minority coalition with. One thing about them, they love attacking easy targets. That's why, sisters, you got to keep some pepper spray on you, keep you some mace, keep you a taser, anything. You dig? Because a lot of times, a lot of people try to go and you try to think as a woman that, oh, these men in the shop are going to defend you if something happens. And oftentimes that's not the case. That's not the case. You saw it was a dude over there. He looked like he was another Arab. He was just sitting there looking. See, they don't defend black women. You dig? That's why when black men are not present, black women, you have to learn how to defend yourself. You have to at all times. All times, family. And this is why I like queens who move like this. Here's another video, just to let you know how often this is happening. This is one of those Asian beauty supply stores. A sister was, getting the hands put on her by Asian supply owner. Watch this.
You playing with? Thank you. Oh shit.
And notice real quick before I continue with the video, notice how this is a common thing in these Asian beauty supply shops. Now, these Asian beauty supply shops, they cater basically strictly to black women. That's what they cater to, strictly to black women. They set up in every hood across America, every black community across America. But notice how often we see these Asian store owners, time Asian men. These are not even Asian women who are putting their hands on black women. Putting their hands on black women all the time. This is happening. All the time this is happening, family. And this sister was already leaving the store. So this is just one of these coward Asian store owners. So he sees her leaving the store. He decides, well, I'm going to put my hands on her anyway. You dig? But the sister has something for him.
I do want to come back on the video. Oh, shit. I don't know if she shot him or what.
Yes, Lord.
She just shot a gun at him. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Yes, Lord.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Did she shot you?
And listen, all these other black, this sounds like a black woman behind the camera. She's more concerned about the Asian store owner who just attacked this sister than the sister herself. See, black women, y'all got to get on code too. We all as black people got to get on code. We got to look out for each other. The moment he put his hands on that sister, all black women should have been jumping on his neck. You should have been ganging up on him. And he's talking about, are you all right? Oh my God. She's more concerned about Asian Zaddy.
You don't know?
And look at them. They love playing victim. Love playing victim at the end of the day. But let me go back and remove myself real quick. Yeah, they love playing victim at the end of the day. Now he attacks this sister, and then he's talking about, I don't know. She tried to shoot me. Oh, now all of a sudden he's the victim. Now when he attacked his sister walking out the store, it was no problem. See, he thought he had an easy target. See, sisters, you got to start keeping that thing on you, because just being a woman won't save you around these white supremacists. They attack easy targets. And we're going to have to start charging some of these coons to the game. You got sisters a sister was just attacked by this man. And he probably, I don't know the background of the story, but he probably, like they always do in these Asian stores, they accuse black folks of stealing. They follow you around the store and they want to accuse you of stealing and then tell you to get out. Then when your back is turned, you trying to walk out the store. Then they want to hit you upside the head. But the sister had something. She was trying to hurry up and get to the car because she had that thing in the car, and that's how it's got to be. And like I say, and sisters in that situation, don't ever let a man in general put your hands on one of your sisters. You see what I'm saying? He should have been fighting all black women in that shop, because when you go to these Asian stores, there's no other groups of women in this shop. There's no white women. There is no even Asian women. They cater strictly to black women. Every black woman in that store should have been on his neck. And you should have went back and told the brothers in the community, and the brothers should have been up there. You dig? Plain and simple. The brothers should have been up there. Plain and simple. Like I say, so we're going to have to start getting on code. We're going to have to start getting on code. Exactly. Somebody said all skin folks ain't kinfolk. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. We got to remember that. You dig? I talked about that when we got look at people like Kamala Harris walking around here. She's black when it's beneficial. You dig? So a lot's been going on. So I always want the family to move with that economic mindset and that military mindset. You dig? Also, speaking of all skin folk ain't kinfolk, you saw the battle of the coons from both parties on Twitter the other day. The Democratic coon Cardi B. I won't call Cardi B a coon. I just think Cardi B is she's borderline. She's a tool for the Democratic Party. I'm not going to call her a coon. I don't think she does anything to just flat out harm the black community. But she has a form of tap dancing as well. You know, she creates this atmosphere where black women are looked at as sexual objects. You dig? And then you had Candace Owens. And Candace Owens, every few months when nobody's talking about her because she can't hold a conversation, she doesn't bring anything tangible to the table. So her only claim to fame is to shit on black people. That's her only claim to fame. They were on Twitter arguing about the Democrats and the Republicans, and she was talking about how, oh, well, you're being used as a tool for the Democrats, and Candace Owens is a tool for the Republicans. So you had the battle of the coons. And like I say, the big thing about Coons family, especially Candace Owens, these coons are not operating with logic. They're not there to provide any tangibles or to prove a point. Their whole point is to waste your time. That's their whole thing. People like Candace Owens, their whole point is to waste your time and to insult black people. That's the whole thing. They're like dogs. They're like police dogs. Every time white supremacy or white supremacists, they're too afraid to say something, they send their dog out to do the dirty work. That's Candace Owens. You see what I'm saying? They send their dogs like Candace Owens out there to sick them on Negroes. She'll say the stuff that the white supremacists are telling her to say behind the scenes. But she's black, so she tries to portray this whole thing, well, I'm black and I'm just giving you tough love. But Candace Owens, we know she's a coon. You dig? So it was the battle of the coons on Twitter the other day. You dig? And like I say, both of the coon sectors on the Democrat and the Republican Party, they're heightening up the tension. Because this is a big election. Understand, this is a big election for the Democrats. It's a big election for the Democrats because if they can't win this election with the open white supremacy of Trump, they're in trouble. They might never win another election. You dig? And then you have black people on the other end saying, listen, you're going to have to give me some tangibles. You're going to have to give me some tangibles. I'm just not going to hand out my vote. So this is a big election for them. You dig? And the Republicans, you know, they're looking at it from a white supremacist standpoint in the sense that, if you don't know, probably since the year 2016, the white birth rate has been a negative, meaning more white people have been dying every year than are being born. And it's really speeding up the process due to the coronavirus. Like I say, don't let them allow them to make black folks the face of the coronavirus. The coronavirus is mainly affecting white folks. Let's be clear on that. And they can't afford that. So they're heightening up the tension. You dig? They're on this Rahoya, this racial holy war they got going on right now. That's their whole goal. That's their whole goal. So the Republicans are hiding it up. Remember, they're not toning down their rhetoric. The other day, Trump just said that, if you haven't seen already, Trump just said that he's going to start defunding schools and institutions who try to show the 1619 Project. And I haven't seen the 1619 Project, but the 1619 Project is pretty much talking about slavery in Americas. So he said he's going to start defunding schools. See, they're on a Nazi type flow right now. They're going to start pushing heavy propaganda. Meaning, and I've been telling y'all this for a while, if you look at states like Texas have been trying to take slavery out the textbooks for a long time now. So they're going to start with that. They don't even want you talking about slavery. If you try to talk about slavery or reparations or things that were done to harm black people, they're going to start calling that reverse racism. Calling out racism is reverse racism. I get that from white folks all the time. Chase, you're a reverse racist. You dig? Because I call out racism. Because I call out white supremacy and what you've done to my people. You dig? They're going to start doing that. So Trump already said he's defunding schools. He's also defunding schools who have these, I don't know what you call them, but you have some of these white institutions who talk about racism that goes on in the racist power structure. You have courses who study racial dialogue. He also said he's going to start trying to defund those schools. So understand, they're in full core white supremacy mode. Full core white supremacy mode. Yeah, modern day book burning. Modern day book burning. And the fact that they even have to do this, family, because let's be clear. And like the video while you at it, family. While we in here, like the video real quick for your boy. Do that for me. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. When you look at it, the fact that they even have to defund something like 1619 or defund things like racial conversations that happen at colleges and things of that nature, is crazy, because we don't even really get history. We get whitewashed versions of slavery. We get the Harriet movies of slavery, where you got fictitious black slave owners running around chasing Harriet Tubman who never existed. You dig? We don't even get a full authenticated version of what happened during the enslavement process. We get the whitewashed version. Understand, these colleges, these institutions, they aren't teaching about Nat Turner. They aren't teaching about Demart Vesey. Cato's Rebellion. They're not teaching about Ebo Landing. They're not teaching about all these slave revolts that happened, because many of them did. They're not teaching about the 1804 revolution in Haiti. They're not teaching about Queen Nanny of the Maroons. You dig? They're not teaching any of the rebellious history, and they still trying to defund it. Still trying to defund it. You dig? Because they're tired of they're tired of slavery being a thorn in their side. They're tired of slavery being a thorn in their side, because understand, in a matter of years, I say about 50 to 100 years, they want to be able to say that all people were immigrants. They're going to try to group us all together. And that's a goal. They're going to try to group us all together. They're going to try to group us with these Asian store owners who've been beating up black women. You dig? They're going to try to group us with these Arab people who are in the sisters, like I just showed, in these stores attacking our sisters. They're going to try to group us all together. And they're going to make all our problems the same problems. You dig? They're going to make everything the same problem. They've been pushing that for a while now. Every time we talk about tangibles, they group us all together. This is why I always say we have no friends. We have no friends. The same Asians that we're trying to unite with are attacking our sisters in these beauty supply stores, like I just showed you. These same Arabs that own these gas stations are attacking us in the station. You go in the damn gas station now, these Arab stations, shit, you can't even get close to the damn cashier. They got so many shields and walls up. They got so many guns behind the counter. Whenever in their black neighborhoods, they're afraid of us, but they're not afraid of our dollar. And that's the thing. That's the thing. We have no friends, family. That's why I say we got to be on code. We got to start moving economically and militarily. Economically and militarily at all times, family. Because they're hyping up the propaganda campaign. And they've been doing it a while now. You see what I'm saying? But going into my main topic today, family. Going into my main topic today. I want to talk about, like I was saying, the propaganda campaign. And the reason why I want to talk about this is New York Post. Let me show you something. Let me share my screen again. Hold on one second, family. Share my screen. The New York Post, they tweeted this a couple of days ago, about 4 days ago. I believe it was last Sunday. They tweeted this right after I went off the last live. They said Black Lives Matter protesters riot in Manhattan cost $100,000 in damages. $100,000 in damages, family. That's what they tweeted out. And I talked about this today on my Instagram page. This is part of propaganda, family. This is part of propaganda. Now, let me tell you why it's propaganda. The first reason it's propaganda is because all of that property, and by any means, let me be clear, I'm not a Black Lives Matter supporter. I don't support the organization. To me, the organization is an LGBTQ agenda. The organization is anti-Black men and anti-Black family. But I'm going to be on code, because the thing is, when you start running articles like this, and the New York Post has been running bullshit articles ever since the Jacob Blake. Remember, they tweeted something talking about Jacob Blake was wanted on sexual or something like that, something that had completely nothing to do with the shooting. But then when Kyle Rittenhouse came out, they're talking about he was cleaning the graffiti off the walls a couple of days earlier. So they love propping up white killers, but Black victims, they love bashing them. You see what I'm saying? But anyways, when they run articles like this talking about $100,000 in damages was done to the city, first of all those damages will be replaced. Let's be clear. Property can be replaced. We can never bring lives. Our brother Jacob Blake can never walk again. We can never get Eric Gardner back. We can never get George Floyd back. No matter what we do, no matter how much you pay, we can never get these people back. Members of our community, those stores can be replaced. Those stores probably will come back better because of the insurance policies that they have on them. Secondly, why this is disturbing and why we have to call this out is because $100,000 is nothing, family. $100,000 is nothing. Understand this. The New York City Police Department, the same city that they talking about just $100,000 in damages happened, the New York City Police Department paid a total of about, I believe it was 87 million. No, excuse me, not 87 million, $69 million last year in settlements. The New York City Police Department, I want y'all to look that up. They paid a total of $69 million last year in settlements for wrongfully convicted people, for police brutality. That's how much they paid last year alone. So we're not even talking about, we're talking about they paid 600, 700 times the damages that happened in Manhattan. Yet you didn't see one article talking about this. See, white people they love having this thing of, oh, the true thugs. They love making black people the face of everything. So now we're the face of property damage. We're the face of causing the people money. Look how much money this Black Lives Matter protesters are causing the city of New York. $100,000 in damages that we can ill afford. Stop. When you have your race soldiers, your terrorists out here in uniform who caused you 69 million last year in wrongfully convicted people. You dig? In terrorizing members of the black community. You see what I'm saying? The year before that, in 2018, they had to pay a total of $230 million in settlement money for people, again, facing police brutality, getting beat up, winning civil suits, killing unarmed black people. They had to pay all this money. And mind you, the irony of this money is really not their money. It's our money. This is taxpayers' money. So many of our brothers and sisters in New York are having to pay all these extra taxes. Many of your tax dollars are going to pay for the wrongdoing of police by the millions, by the hundreds of millions every year. You did? By the hundreds of millions every year. But you got the New York Post running articles talking about $100,000 in damages. Like, we supposed to care about that. Like, we're supposed to care about that at the end of the day. But it's always this need to make black folks the face. And understand, this is not just in New York. This is everywhere. Out there in LA, you know, when brothers and sisters start turning up and they start destroying certain things, buildings that can be replaced, they start talking about, oh my God, look how much damage they're causing the city. Look how much taxpayers are going to have to pay for these damages. They're tearing up cars and police cars and things of that nature. They're burning down police buildings. Family, the police last year in LA paid like 81 million. They paid like $81 million last year in settlements. Excuse me, I shouldn't even say they paid. We paid 81 million last year in settlements. Because that's taxpayer dollars. And that's not to mention all the money that we had to give them. And when I say we, I'm talking about black brothers and sisters. We had to give them to defend themselves in court. Court expenses and paying for lawyers and things of that nature. That was another 57 million. You dig? That's in LA. That's not even in California. We're not even talking about the state. We're just talking about in a city. But yet, every time we tear up a few buildings, we might have $1 million in cost. Now it's the end of the world. You dig? Now it's the end of the world. Now this is the reason why, oh my God, we can't give funding to the black community because you tore up your buildings and now we have to replace these buildings that cost $1 million, $2 million. When you got the police out here wasting money by the day, terrorizing people, locking people up in New York. They had to give $15 million to a brother they wrongfully convicted. You dig? Or that might have been out in LA. In LA or New York, they had to give $15 million not too long ago, like last year, to a brother they wrongfully convicted, had him in prison 20 years or something like that. So this happens all the time. So when we're talking about wasting money, you're the kings of wasting money. Your race soldiers out here, your guard dogs who out here running uncontrolled without a leash on, attacking people, are wasting hundreds of millions of dollars every year of taxpayer money. But again, they always have to make us the face of everything. They always have to make us the face of everything. Going back to those videos, like I say, of sisters being attacked by white supremacists and white folks in general. They never show that on the news. One, they don't want to try to see, they don't want to try to portray other groups as thugs. They just want to portray us as thugs. They got to make us the face. They got to make us the face. So when we're victims, they try to make us the thug. Well, he kind of deserved it. You did? George Floyd kind of deserved it because he had drugs in his system. That's what they say. They said Eric Garner kind of deserved it. You know, he was resisting. You did? All these people, Sandra Bland, she kind of deserved it. She was resisting. Trayvon Martin, he was fighting George Zimmerman. He kind of deserved it. But George Zimmerman wasn't a cop. Well, I'm white and I say so. He was patrolling his neighborhood. He stood his ground. That's what they said down there in Florida. They got to make us the face. Even when we're completely in the wrong. Tamir Rice, they start attacking his mother. Tamir Rice was a little 12-year-old over there, and I believe it was Cleveland, Ohio. Y'all probably remember, what was this? What was Tamir Rice, about 2016? He was playing with a toy gun in a park. Cop pulled up on him, didn't ask no question, shot and killed him. Say he thought this little kid had a real gun and he was pointed at the cops. So instead of getting on him, because you can't portray a 12-year-old as a thug, they started talking about his parents. Oh, well, why would you let your kid play with a toy gun? But you got white supremacists like Kyle Rittenhouse out here, 17-year-old, walking around shooting people with AR-15s, one he couldn't legally own in a whole nother state, and they're out here portraying him as a patriot. He's a patriot. But when our little babies are in the park, like Tamir Rice, playing with a toy gun, now all of a sudden that's bad parenting. Oh, well, he shouldn't have been out there with a toy gun pointing it at cops. You see what I'm saying? Because you got to make us the face. You can't make us seem human. Understand, that's part of white supremacist propaganda. You can't make black people seem human, family. That's a big thing they like to push. Remember, during Nazi Germany, they had these things where they had a media propaganda campaign. Before they started the so-called Holocaust, they would portray Jews as having big noses and big lips, big ears, things of that. You had to make them not seem human. Down there, the white supremacists in Australia, they had the Tasmanian people. They completely wiped out the Tasmanian people. There is not one Tasmanian person left, full-blooded indigenous Tasmanian. They had to make little cartoons and talk about the Tasmanian devil, the cartoon that many of you know. Propaganda campaign. You see, got people in Africa to walk around big nose, big lips. They did that with our ancestors over there in the kingdom of Hawaii. You could look at those old depictions. People like Queen Liliuokalani back in the turn of the 1900s, the last queen of Hawaii. They had several little Republican papers in the United States who would portray her as the unruly savage queen. They had her with so-called nappy hair and big lips, and she had a spear in her hand. Us as savages. You got to make us the face. You got to make us the criminal. You got to make us the thug. Propaganda and the media plays a big part in this. They play a huge part in this. You see what I'm saying? And when we do get the best of them, like these brothers who I just showed who were knocking out white supremacists in these shops, for people who don't know, let me show it one more time because we can't get enough of this. You can't get enough of this. Let me show this one more time. When you have brothers like this.
What you gonna do, boy? What you gonna do in here with everybody here, man? What you gonna do? Get your ass up there and get the fuck. Hey!
Yes, Lord. When you have brothers like that and brothers like this.
Hey!
Yes, Lord. Fatality. When you have people like that giving white supremacy L's, then they try to cry fair one. They try to oh, it really wasn't a fair matchup. Now, when you defend them, when they defend themselves, they're patriots. Notice that, family. When they defend themselves, even when they're completely in the wrong, when they defend themselves, they're patriots. When we defend ourselves, oh my God, he was too old. Oh my God, they talk about fair ones. You see what I'm saying? They talk about a fair one now. You didn't give us a fair chance. You see what I'm saying? They always got to make us the face. They always got excuses. They always got to cry and complain, family. That's why we don't fall for it. We don't go for it. We got to do what we got to do because we ain't got no friends anyway. We don't have any friends anyway. Make sure you like the video, family. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Like I say, we're going live on the YouTube now every Wednesday and every Saturday. But they like to cry about not having a fair one. And that's just part of the game. That's just part of the game because they don't give us a fair one. Remember, the only time, I tell the folks this all the time, whenever black people, white people, let me start it. White people have a fear of being on an equal playing field. They have a huge fear with being on an equal playing field. This is why they needed to implement the system of white supremacy, where you had to give advantages and resources to people to a particular color, of white people. They have a fear of being on an equal playing field. They cannot do anything on an equal playing field. They take L's. You see what I'm saying? And they know this. When it comes to getting a fair one, when it comes to one-on-one, just fighting, they're so hard when they got a group of them. When they, remember, even back in the 60s, when they were hanging brothers, it was like 60 of them, and they'll catch one Negro who was out after dark, and they'll hang them. They were never given fair ones. And when it was a lot of Negroes and a lot of them, they always had the advantage militarily, meaning in guns and weapons and things of that nature. They never want to put it on an equal playing field. And they've always had a thorn in their side about that. This is why they hate brothers like Ali, Muhammad Ali, who was out here whooping white supremacists and speaking truth to power. They hated Ali when he was here. But then when he got sickly and crippled, then they all of a sudden they love Ali. When he was down, they hated Muhammad Ali. They even hate boxers like Mayweather. You see what I'm saying? That's why they're so emotionally invested whenever a black boxer fights a white boxer. See, they love, and then they'll accuse them, oh, we don't like Ali, we don't like Mayweather because he's cocky, because he's arrogant. But then they'll go and prop up guys like Tyson Fury, who's a white boxer. They'll love Conor McGregor. You see what I'm saying? They love arrogant white people. They love that. Oh, they say he has charisma. Oh my God, he's a showman. But then when somebody black is speaking truth to power, oh, he's arrogant. He's arrogant. But then they'll turn around and love Tekashi 6ix9ine, who's a troll, who all he does is brag, who all he does is go around and troll. Because like I say, people like Tekashi 6ix9ine, their audience is nothing but white folks. Let's be clear, white suburban kids. That's their audience. You got a couple Negroes in there, but black people not supporting them like that. It's nothing but white folks, white suburban kids. They love arrogance. They love cockiness. Except when it's on a black man. Because see, when you get in that boxing ring, it's just one-on-one. It's just one-on-one. No white supremacy can save you or nothing like that. You can get knocked out. Now, sometimes they give you the judges and things of that nature, but for the most part, listen, it is what it is. It's a fair one. They hate that. They hate that. They demonize brothers who get fair ones when the playing field's equal. I talked about last week with our brother Micah Johnson. Remember our brother Micah Johnson out there in the Dallas area? That was what, 2016, I want to say, when he killed those 6 police officers. A patriot. He's a patriot. Let's be clear. I'm using the terminology they use. When he killed those 6 police officers, then they want to cry foul. They want to cry foul. Remember, any other time, it's the big bad boys in blue. Oh, we're the police. Oh, they got their chests out when it's somebody unarmed, when they got the advantages, when they got all the weapons. But then when you put them on an even playing field, you have a brother who had his gun, they had their gun, and he got the best of them, got the best of 6 of them before they can get them. And even they didn't get them. They used a robot to blow up that brother's spot and kill him like cowards. Then all of a sudden, oh, he's not playing fair. He's not playing fair. They love to use these. He ambushed us. He sneak attacked us. Now you want to cry foul. Chris Gardner out there in California. Y'all know, yeah, Deontay Wilder. When you got a brother like Deontay Wilder who's in the ring knocking out white folks, knocking out other people. That's why they were so invested when Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder. Oh my God, the white supremacists just had a hard on after that. After Fury beat Wilder, oh, they had a hard on. They were loving that. Oh, they were left and right. They're still bragging. Oh, Tyson, nobody can beat him. You dig? Because just the fact that he got in there and he knocked out a Deontay Wilder. Because understand, Deontay Wilder is how they stereotypically look at black people. They think all black people are like Deontay Wilder. Because our brother Deontay Wilder, he's a thorough brother, good brother. He's a brother who goes around. He really doesn't really box with or fight with any technique. He's kind of just wild with it. But he has so much power that if he hits you one time, you out. So that's how they think of black people all the time. These people who are uncontrolled, they really have no technique or coordination or strategy. They can't really think. They're just wild. So they see all black people in Deontay Wilder. So that was a win for all white people against black people. Now, understand, we ain't had no heavyweight white boxer in damn near 60 years. Everybody been black. All the boxers been black in general who dominate boxing. But the fact that this white man beat this black guy, they got a hard on about that. You dig? Now, Deontay Wilder put him to sleep in the first matchup. You dig? Put him to sleep, knocked him out pretty much. Tyson Fury got up, which we could argue was a long count, but got up. Nonetheless, give credit where credit is due. But they ignore that part. They ignore that part. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how they view us. That's how they view us. This uncontrollable Negro. This uncontrollable Negro who whenever he beats us, now is he didn't get a fair one. Remember, you had that what's that racist white preacher's name? I think his name is Pat Robertson. Pat Robertson, he went down to Haiti and he was talking about when the Haitians went through that earthquake. He was talking about, oh, how the Haitians, they're going through all this because they sold their soul to the devil. Because when they defeated the French, the Spanish, and the British, that the only reason they won is because they sold their soul to the devil. Remember, he said that? Because they can't stand when you get the best of them. When you get the best of these white supremacists, then all of a sudden, oh, you weren't playing fair. They used some voodoo on us. No, we just whooped your ass. It was fair and square. And with the Haitians, hell, the Haitians were at a disadvantage and still gave them that work. So that's a thorn in their side. That's a thorn in their side. When you get the best of them, it's a thorn in your side. It's not just physically, when you get the best of them economically. Remember when Gaddafi started saying out there in Libya, when Gaddafi said, hey, we're going to have the United States of Africa, and we're going to back all of our African money by gold dinars. Then they said, oh, no, you're trying to get an advantage. We got to kill you now. So they started writing propaganda campaign. They started talking about, well, Gaddafi, he's killing his citizens out there. So Hillary Clinton and them had to go over there and kill him. That was their excuse they used. Yeah, they started saying we backing it by gold. So it's not just physically. Whenever they start taking L's, they try to act like, oh, my God, we had to do it, or they have some type of advantage on us, or they're not playing fair. You see what I'm saying? They're not playing fair. That's what they love to pull. They always pull that. They always use that as a justification. We have to go in here and harm these black people because they raped a white woman. That was their excuse for burning down Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. Remember, it was a brother who, I can't remember the brother's name, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, of course, one of the most prosperous black communities ever in the United States. He fell on a white woman in an elevator, and a white guy saw it. He literally tripped and fell on this white woman in the elevator. A white guy saw it and said he was raping this white woman. So they use that as justification to burn down the whole community. It's always they have to find an excuse. They can't never go anything fair. They can't never just be honest and truthful. You see what I'm saying? They can't ever do that. They always got to find justifications to try to harm us. And then when we get the best of them, it's we didn't play fair. We didn't play fair. That's always their excuse. Reclassification of history. You dig? Now that they can't say that the white folks built the pyramids, now it's got to be, well, you used slaves to build the pyramids. You dig? You used the Jews to build. No, we didn't. You're not playing fair. You did. But like I said, that's what I wanted to talk about today, family. All in all, ask any questions. If you feel the need to ask some questions, I'm not going to be on here too much longer, but I just had to get that on my mind. We're going to have a short show tonight. If you want to ask me some questions, just put it in the comment section real quick and I'll answer some questions. Yep. If you got some questions, just put it in the chat room. And make sure, like I say, family, make sure you like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon. Because like I say, man, it's time for us. We got to get on code. It only take a small group. I don't trip on numbers. It ain't got to be 100 people watching me. It ain't got to be 200, 300 people watching me. It can be 5, 6 people. It can be 10 people, 20 people. A small group of us on code, we do a lot of big things. All of our revolutions, family, when you study history, when you study our revolts, when you study our military victories, whether it be in Haiti, whether it be Nanny of the Maroons, whether it be over in Ethiopia, the Italian-Ethiopian wars, this was a small group of people who got on code and overthrew some of the biggest world powers there is. You dig? Overthrew some of the biggest world powers there is, family. Like I said, you had brothers and sisters in Ethiopia, those Abenaki soldiers. Small group of people, but got them up out the paint. Going back to ancient times, you had in the kingdom of Kush, you had Queen Amerinus. Queen Amerinus didn't have the military mights of the Roman Empire. Roman Empire had a military of over 1 million. Didn't have the same military power, but she had people who were on code. She had people who were on code and who were willing to fight back. You see what I'm saying? On code and willing to fight back. The Mau Mau who did damage out there in Kenya to the British. On code, willing to fight back. So it's plain and simple. We got to get on code. Did you see the story about the little black boy gets suspended from school during virtual class for a toy gun? No, I didn't see that, but that doesn't surprise me. Shout out to Music is First Love. Been active in the chat room tonight. Nah, I didn't see that, but that doesn't surprise me at all. That doesn't surprise me at all. Like I say, you got to understand black boys. Remember, most of the school system is run by white women. We got to be clear on that. Most of the teachers in these school systems is run by white women. White folks are the main teachers of black children, unfortunately. That's why it's always this big push to get black teachers. So white women control that. White women are always talking about every year some story. I had a black kid gives a teacher a hug and they're talking about, oh my God, he was trying to fill on her sexually. You dig? So it's always that need. They start demonizing our young brothers at a young age. So now a toy gun, he gets suspended from school, from virtual class. Wow. Was it, when you say little boy, what was this little boy? Was he like little, like elementary school, middle school, high school? But they started at a young age. And then when we finally get black teachers, remember, when we finally get black teachers in the school system, you have little white parents who run up there and start talking to the principal, talking about, I think Miss Levers, her dress is too tight. They start talking that nonsense. They always do that to sisters. When they start teaching, when they dress up professionally and they're wearing their dresses or whatever they have on, or their pants, they start talking about, well, her figure, I don't want my son around that type of figure. It's too distracting. They love to do that with white. They love to do that with white. White women love to do that to black women. They do that even on the news. You had a sister out there in Dallas. I can't remember her name. Beautiful sister. She's out there in Dallas and she's very popular on Instagram, but she was a weather reporter out there in Dallas, and you had a whole bunch of hating white women, a little flat ass Becky's calling up to the station. Oh my God, I'm just trying to watch the news. I mean, it's so distracting. I mean, I'm not racist or anything, but her figure, why does she have to wear such tight clothes? They love doing that type of stuff. They love doing that type of stuff, family. It's all this, oh my God, it's just so distracting to see her in this figure. You dig? Brothers get up there and brothers start teaching in the school system. Brothers start getting on these corporate plantations. Then they start talking about sexual harassment. He start hitting a couple Beckies at the job, and they start hitting them with the sexual harassments. So like I said, these little con games they play in order to keep the little white supremacist teachers who tell on little boys for having a toy gun. You said elementary school. Yeah, just like I say, typical white supremacist stuff. You know, something to put on his record. Now you got on this little kid record that he brought a toy gun to virtual class, I guess. You dig? He brought a toy gun to virtual class. They always doing little things to demonize black children. You know, you had a little boy the other day. who, not the other day, but I remember a story with a little boy, he had dreads, and the teacher was making him cut his dreads. They do that to our little black girls all the time. They tell them their hair is inappropriate for school. And the little sister, she might just have her afro. She might have her natural afro shining that day. And they say, well, it's inappropriate for school. It's not professional, meaning it's not white. AKA, that's a code word for white, because the only thing that's professional to them is white folks. So if your hair is not straight and laying down, it's unprofessional. Those are little things they do. So a little kid last year, he was wrestling for the state championship, a high school kid. They made him cut his dreads in the middle of the match. Some of y'all might remember that story. Made him cut his dreads in the middle of the match. Said his dreads were unprofessional, or they were giving him an advantage. That's some of that fair one. See, when they can't beat you in the ring, our brother, he won the state, by the way. They couldn't beat him. They said, oh, none of these white kids can mess with him. So now we got to mess with his hair. Got to make him cut his dreads. We're going to at least take his dignity away, because he's not playing fair. His dreads are giving him an advantage. You dig? That's the type of stuff they try to play. So when we're talking about elementary kids in school, again, they start that at a young age, family. They start that at a young age. Any more questions? Before I get off of here, any more questions, family? Any more questions? Shout out to Music is First Love. Shout out to Music is First Love. Been in the comment section heavy all night. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already as well, family, make sure you get my book, Voice of the Ancestors, Volume 1. Make sure you get that book, Voice of the Ancestors, Volume 1. Link is in the description on that. Link is in the description. Like I said, you got to get the hard copy of the information. In that book, we go into more details about the history. So if you're a history fanatic, you're going to love that book. History, and we talk about strategy, military strategy. We break down the system of white supremacy, the codes, the rules, and the regulations, because part of warfare is to know your opponent like you know thyself. Everybody talks about knowledge of self. You got to have knowledge of self, and that is very important. But one thing about it is you have to know your opponent like you know thyself. That's very important. That's very key. Very important, very key. So make sure you get that. We got a special surprise coming out for the family in October. I can't wait for y'all to see it. Something else we add into the Voice of the Ancestors line. What else we got? We got Voice of the Ancestors Volume 3 coming out next February 2020. That will be the last of the Voice of the Ancestors series. So make sure you get caught up on that. We're going to do a bundle pack with that. We're going to do all 3 books. I'm probably going to do all 3 books, and I'm probably going to throw in probably like Hidden Colors 1 and 2. I'll probably throw in some other special stuff in the bundle pack. You know, that's going to be a collection piece. You dig? Collection that we're going to add to it. So a lot of things we got going on, man, because it's about the knowledge and the information. If nobody tells our story, who will? So make sure you support that. Hit that link in the description and go get that tonight, family. Go get that tonight. And if you click the link in the description tonight, it will be signed. It will be signed, family, at the end of the day. You dig? But let me make sure that's all I need to talk about tonight. Like I say, if it's no more questions, family, I'm about to get out of here. Hope all the family does well. Hope all the family does good. Make sure, like I say, your homework for the day, multiple streams of income. Download Stash and Stockpile for the 4 people that's in here. Download Stash and Stockpile. Let's help to get on code. Start investing. Also, work on monetizing your creative content, meaning your intellectual knowledge. Some of you are very gifted intellectually. You have a lot of things to offer. Make sure you monetize that. And that could be in book formats. You can write a book and put it on Amazon for free. That don't cost any money. You can put an ebook on Amazon for free. Hell, if you don't like reading or writing, you can do an audio book and just speak the book and put it on Audible. Put Audible on Amazon for free. Different things, different forms of creative income. Monetize your content, family, your intellectual content. And also, if you haven't already, make sure to get your license to carry. Make sure to start moving strategically with your weapons and things of that nature, because we are in times of war. Nobody will defend you but you. Nobody will defend you but you. So make sure you're up on game militarily, family. But like I said, that's tonight's video. Until next time, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon. Peace and Black Power. I'm out.